So hey there, the Harvest here, and welcome to the part 2 of the competitive coding with C++ series. And yeah, in the previous video we have learned till a basic addition program, and in this video I'm gonna continue from there. So in this video I'm gonna go with loops, arrays, and strings. But before I jump to those, I'm gonna explain a few operators to you. So what are operators? You might be knowing if you know programming. It is just plus, minus, multiplies, divide, and modulus. So these are the basic arithmetic operators we're gonna be using in daily life. Yeah, in daily life, in regular basis actually. So yeah, these are the very few arithmetic operators. Now, along with these arithmetic operators, I'm gonna tell you something more important as well: increment and decrement operators. Okay, before that, I'm gonna tell you one more thing, that I was myself confused when I was a beginner. I started learning programming, that how are the values put inside a variable, means how is x equal to 20 and 20 equal to x not same. So we programmers know that 20 equal to x doesn't make any sense, but those who are starting from bare bones, they won't be knowing what the hell is the difference between them. So I'm gonna tell you anyways. So suppose I have two variables here, x equal to y. Suppose I take this statement, then what is happening here is the value of y, the value of the variable which is on the right side, the value which is on the right side of the operator, gets assigned to the variable in the left side of the operator. That's how it's working. The value gets transferred from the right to left. You got to remember this, irrespective of the variables on the either side. Why irrespective? Because you're gonna see something very confusing right now. So yeah, these couple set of operators are gonna confuse you a bit if you're a beginner, of course. I don't know if that exists, but yeah, we use these frequently in competitive programming to save time. So what the hell this means? So I'm gonna just do one example: a plus equal to 1. So what is happening here is this statement is just basically same as, yeah, this statement is basically same as, it is not an operator, this is just implies statement. I'm just trying to make it, not, don't take it as operator please. This basically means a equal to a plus 1. Now, as I told earlier, the value on the right just get transferred to the left. So let me elaborate a bit, that suppose int a equal to 6. Oh, before I do this, let me tell that this thing over here, int a, is called declaration, and a equal to 6 is called initialization. Is it clear? You guys cannot reply. Okay, this int, I'm declaring that a variable a is of type integer, and so this statement is basically called the declaration, and I'm initializing a, that you have an initial value of 6. So this statement is called initialization. Of course I can do this at once as well, no problem, but yeah, for the sake of this tutorial I'm gonna do it separately. And now a has a value of 6. So as I told earlier, the value on the right just get transferred to the value on the left, the variable on the left. So what is the value on the right? A is equal to 6, 6 plus 1, 7. So this value of 7 gets assigned to the value to the variable A. Doesn't matter what it was earlier. Now if you print out A, it's gonna be 1, but I'm not gonna print out because yeah, recording time. So just comment, I'm just gonna comment this statements anyway. So yeah, another thing, comment statements. Comments are basically important because yeah, I'm explaining this stuff to you. Now if any big company, if I go to some big company, there a single piece of code is being shared by many different programmers over the company, and yeah, if I code something right now without me explaining it, you won't be able to understand what the hell it is, if it is too much complex actually, of course. So to make sure that the other guy understands, we use comments. So comments are basically of two types: a single line comment, which is done by these two hash, not hashes, the two division signs, slanted slanted sticks, whatever, and just type here something, doesn't matter, it your program will just remove it anyway. Your program will just don't matter, your program will just ignore it. And here it is the paragraph commenting, as you can see, and a division sign and a multiplication sign, a star together, and just invert those, and yeah, there you go, this whole paragraph has been commented. So yeah, now I can go back and start. Oh yeah, before I do that, the two more important operators, increment and decrement. Plus plus basically means increasing value by 1, plus equal to 1 does just place the variable here, and minus minus means means minus equal to 1. Yep, just decreasing the value by 1. That's it. So yeah, moving on to the loop statements now. Now there are two kinds of loop, for and while. So first I will go with the for loop. For loop, the statement is, yeah, you will, once you start coding something using these, you will know the difference between them very easily. So I'm going to give a few examples also. So yeah, let's get to it. For the first, it includes 3 parameters and then a set of code. So what are the parameters? Initialization, semicolon, condition, semicolon, and then increment or decrement, or in short, operation. Just do it, because yeah, why I used operation, you're gonna know in the later stages of programming. So initialization has, yeah, you can also do complete your declaration also between this if you want. That's exactly how it works. I'm going to show an example too. So yeah, here you initialize a variable, mainly initialization, you can also do declaration with it, and you place a condition on that variable or something related to that variable, that until and unless this condition is satisfied. I didn't mean unless, means as long as this condition is satisfied, the set of code inside it will get executed. And after each part of this, after this set of code is executed each time, this operation will be carried on the variable or whatever way you want. Yeah, that's it for loop. I'm gonna just comment it real quick. Now coming to the while loop. While loop, just one thing, condition, that's it, set of code, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and you're done. That's it basically for the while loop. Now what is the difference? Difference is that in while loop you don't have the it is you don't have the headache of initializing a variable and doing an operation in it. You can just include it anyway in your code. So why use a while loop? Because why use a for loop when you can use a while loop? For loop is mainly used when you can to reduce the amount of lines of code you need to do, and there are few things which can be done with for, which can be done in while easily, whereas it cannot be done easily with for, and vice versa. So yeah, there you go for while and for loops. So next up is arrays. So for arrays I'm gonna open up paint, MS Paint, because I don't have any other apps to draw and show you guys. So I'll just quickly switch to paint. So yeah, I'm here on MS Paint, and you guys, I can now tell you guys about arrays. So arrays are basically a group of numbers. Drawing with pencil is a really big headache, so yeah, bear with me. Just a group of numbers. And actually array is a data type which can be declared as a group of data. So yeah, here is an array, and in each these boxes you fill each number of value. Let it be just int or float or characters. You can just fill any values, but not strings. Yeah, you can also bring strings. So arrays, how to access these elements is that each of these boxes, an array can be represented as this box over here, a row of elements, and each of these boxes have their particular indexes starting from 0, 1, 2, and so on up to n, which is the size of the array. So yeah, that's it for arrays, and how to code it and all those things I'm going to show you in the Sublime text. And yeah, before I go, let me remember that int, float, and characters are single value type, and also I can make a string array. I can also make a string array like this, but you should also know one thing, that string itself is kind of arrays of many characters. Now that might sound confusing, so yeah, I will address it while coding itself. So yeah, let's get there. I'm back with Sublime text over here, and let's get started with coding an array. So first I will start with an integer array, int r, and in box brackets I'm going to declare the size of the array. Let it be 6. Yeah, and that's it. That's it for an array. And if you want to declare it, it's already declared. If you want to initialize it, give it some values, go on, make some curly brackets, and 1 comma 3 comma 6 comma 78 comma 90, and 1 2 3 4 5, another one value can fit. Let's triple digit number 100. Fine. Now if you see that, okay, I have this array over here, but how am I gonna do operations if I want to print this array, or if I want to take input in this inside this array? So don't worry, just don't commit the mistake of cout r. Don't do this, because it's gonna view a very nice looking error, which I also don't know what it means. What kind of error is that? You can print out a specific statement though. Suppose 5. So as I told you before, this index I'm gonna show very quickly how indexing are in this. So 0, this statement is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's how the indexing works in an array. Yep, that's how the indexing. So the 0th element is 1, the first element is 3, second element is 4th, and so on up to 5th element is 100. The size is 6, there are 6 elements. So that is how the index is. You have to memorize this, nothing to work. And in almost every programming language, the indexing starts from 0 to n minus 1, where n is the size of an array. But except I think in MATLAB, where the indexing starts from 1. Otherwise, in most programming languages, indexing starts from 0, as far as my knowledge goes. So yeah, if you want to see out like this, you can see out a single element like this. So hey, if I want to print the whole array, how can I do that? So don't worry, you have got the magical tool of loops. So yeah, I'm going to show you how to print an array with loops right now. So for int I equal to 0, I less than 6, which is the size of the array, and I plus plus, that's it. And for any kind of statements like the conditional statements or the loop statements, if you have just one line of code below it, no need to declare this curly brackets, just an indent, just write the code, just write the statement r of I, oops, I, yes, ith element of array. I need to print it, and also I need to give a space. That's it. There we go. If I just build it quickly, gonna take some time. Yeah, there we go. The array is printed over here. And if I want to just print another thing, I just use this operand operator of the cout. So yeah, there you go. And in the same way, you can take an input of the array. Cin array of I. That's it. It is gonna take the input of the space of n. If I place here n, it is gonna take the input of n number of space separated integers, which is the very requirement of most of the competitive programming questions. You need to take an input of n space separated integers. Now you might be thinking that, okay, can I do this in while loop? Of course you can. I'm just initialize a variable int I equal to 0. Before it, while I less than n. Now I gotta open this curly brackets because yeah, there's gonna be more than one statement inside this loop. So first is cout array of I. I'm gonna give a space to, and then I plus plus. Now tell me, which one will you prefer to write all the times, this or this? Obviously this one, because this looks more compact, more smaller. So yeah, but also sometimes while loop has shorter codes than for in many reasons, and in many places while is easier to use than for, because in for you always need to initialize a variable, or yeah, you need to give a variable initialization, can't deny it, or you can just sometimes skip it, some special conditions can't deny it. So yeah, let's just check. Yeah, so yeah, that is how you take an input and an output of an array. And if you want to access an element of an array, just do something of array I. Oops, that's array of I. That's it, array, and here the index, actually index, that's it. This is some weird operation which you want to use, and this statement will just return the value on this index of this array. That's it. That's it for arrays. And strings also behaves in similar manner. Accessing them at least behaves in similar manner, but yeah, it is one weird mysterious data type which I'm going to show right now, because yeah, and mysterious but interesting, because yeah, we like mysterious, and in what is mysterious is always interesting. So let me just declare a string very quickly, string s, that's it. And now if I'm gonna write some kind of weird thing, jk, yeah, I can take, if I want to take the whole line as an input where there is no space. Up till now I faced one question in code forces while practicing, that I need to take an input of a string of a line of numbers without any space in it. So when it is without any space, if I taken value integer, it is gonna treat it as a single number, and it is gonna just pump all those elements in just one place of the array. So how am I gonna deal with this? So here comes string. String comes to the rescue. So if I just type s, that's it. This whole jking will come inside this s. Oops. Yep. So if I want to print it out, cout s, I can obviously do that. Let's see if it is wrong. Maybe you guys, yep, there you go, jking, I got it. So now now we might be thinking that, okay, you said it, you can access strings in the similar manner as arrays, and yes, I mean it. Strings have their own indexes. This jking, j is at the index 0, k is at the index 1, I is at index 2, n is at an index 3, and g is at index 4. You don't believe me? Check this out. As of, if I put in 0, it will print the first element of the string. Let's see. There you go, the first element of the string. You can always access the individual elements of the string in this manner. And also, if you want to iterate that from the start to the end of the string, then you got to use these statements. So yeah, and if you want to iterate through the string, then most of you might think, oh, okay, let's iterate to the string for int I equal to 0, I less than size of s. Yes, size of is a function that returns the length of the string or something, I plus plus, or might be, yeah, I plus plus cout s of I space, that's it. And I'm gonna put an line ending here, and let's see how this turns out. Building up, and yeah, there we go. Apparently size of s didn't return any value, or whoa, it returned a whole bunch of values, damn it. So yeah, size of is basically a pointers, because these are all those were all just the addresses, memory addresses. So maybe you can type, maybe you can try s dot length. Let's see how this one works out. Whoa. Well, never mind, that was kind of a weird error somewhere. there we go, s dot length. So yeah, length is a string function and size of is an array function. So size of an array you can get it, and s dot length you need to get length of a string. So yeah, they behaves kind of similarly, but their functions are different. And here you can see the header file. I'm using bits slash stdc++. So if you're using iostream, then you need to include this header file hash include string separately, so that you can use this string functions yourself in your program. Phew. Damn, my throat hurts now. So yeah, there we go. This is how you can access a string. Or there is another way, that is using pointers. So what kind of pointers? I'm going to show you. For so yeah, I have this another way. I'm gonna declare a pointer basically. So a pointer is that kind of a data type which points at a particular position in an array or a string. So yeah, you're gonna understand it very quickly right now. So if I just type iterator it, I have declared this and equal to s dot begin. So s dot begin is basically a pointer which points to the beginning of the string, while and the condition is iterator does not point to s dot end, which points the end of the string, and it plus plus. And yeah, here it is gonna be it plus plus, close, enter, see out. And yeah, apparently the declaring of the iterator should be string iterator, and see out star it. That is how you print the value at which the pointer is pointing currently. So I'm gonna give a handle right here and a space over here, and if I now build it, come on, oh, it's working down there. And yeah, there you go, there it is, all good. And yeah, this s dot begin and s dot end is used in many ways, which yeah, this can be useful later on, and I actually used it recently, but I forgot which program it was. So moving on to the next, another way, a very cool way of iterating through arrays is, suppose I'm gonna yep comment all these things. There we go. So I'm gonna introduce another kind of data type, which is very interesting because the last time I used to use these was in Python, but yeah, I recently discovered this thing in C++ too. So yeah, let's get going. First, I'm gonna declare an integer array of size, let's say 8, and here I'm gonna place some 8 integers. So 2, 5, 6, 8, 3, and that's just 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. Okay. Int array of 8, then for int I equal to 0, I less than 8, I plus plus scene r of I, and to print it I'm gonna use this auto I in r c out I. So what auto is that we have a function in Python usually that, wait, let me just make a new screen. In Python, if you have any variable, suppose var, and you assign it any values, let's say 4, if you give it 4, and it's gonna automatically give var a data type of integer, or if you give 4.0, it's gonna give a variable type of double or float, or if you give a cd something, it's gonna give it a string or a character automatically. It will, the program will or by itself declare this variable. You just need to initialize it. So nope. So yeah, so auto does something similar in this scape. So auto I in r, what is happening is whatever value I is inside this array, it's gonna iterate through this array, and I'm gonna just print out this value and give it some space bar, and yeah, there we go. Let's see what happens, because yes, most of you guys just don't believe me. I'm just a scammer in front of you guys. And woo, I have some error, so let me just check what is wrong, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so apparently in isn't something in C++, it was in Python. Sorry, it was this guy, a colon. So let's see how this works. Okay, looks good to me so far. 6%, and yeah, there I go. So this is the syntax for it. Jam it in your brains, guys, because it's gonna be really useful when you don't know what kind of thing is inside this array. It's gonna be really useful at that time. So yeah, I think that's it for arrays, loops, whoa, loops, and yeah, arrays, loops, and strings. So yeah, that's gonna be enough. So I'm gonna cover up one more thing, because I'm too lazy to make another video for this thing, and this is really simple. That is conditional statements. Conditional statements are just 3 statements: if, or else if, or else. That's it. So what it happens is, if I give some, if I just write the if keyword and give some condition, then it will execute some code. Okay, and if this condition is not satisfied, then at the same time I want it to check another condition. Then how I'm gonna do it? Else if some another condition and some statements again, and if it doesn't, if this condition is followed, I'm gonna give another else if statement, and finally if none of this follows, else. Just do this if you are none of these things. So it is just like if. Okay, I'm not allowed to do this NSFW things. Okay, so if you have a bottle of water, you're gonna drink the water. Else if you have bottle but not water, go and get the water and drink the water. Else, if you have water but don't have the bottle, go and drink the water directly, no need of a bottle. Else, just remain thirsty. I don't know what to do. So yeah, that is kind of covering for the if else if. So what happens is here that if this condition is satisfied, none of these statements will be visited and you will directly go to whatever is here. So if this condition is satisfied, it will go to the next condition, and if this is satisfied, it won't go to any of these else, any of the rest of these, and it is going to directly jump to the end of the outside this couple of statements. Now if you miss this, now it is not necessary that okay, for every if I need to give an else if, or for every if I need to give an else. Nothing of that sort. You can just plainly give an if condition and just walk away coolly, or if you can just give an if and else if condition and walk away coolly. No kind of errors will show up. So yeah, these are very useful conditional statements because yeah, you're gonna use it many times. There are another kind of conditional statements, but you won't be using it much. That is switch cases. It's very easy, and switch some variable, and there you open up some curly brackets. You need to open it. Case, this variable's value is this. Do this thing, something, and then break. Of course, call curly brackets are just course curly brackets, and this follows quite a few times. Case, again some value, curly brackets, break. And then finally, if none of these cases satisfies, default break. So you won't be using it very much because yeah, it itself is confusing, and right here in the code there might be some mistakes, so you better check geek for geek for the syntax of the switch case statement. So another cool thing that you might have just seen here, and you're gonna go, whoa, hold up, what is this break statements? So I'm gonna come to this right now because yeah, it is associated to loops. Break and continue. So suppose I'm in a loop. Let's just okay, I'm gonna just declare a new one for me anyway. So how break and continue works is, suppose I'm inside a loop. There are some set of codes, and if I put here a break statement, then this loop just terminate right away. Doesn't matter if this condition is reached or not. If it just sees break, then full stop, what you have done is enough. Just jump out of the loop. No more, I don't need this loop anymore. Just go out of the loop and do whatever you like. And suppose you have continue statement in here. Continue statement is kind of confusing, but you will get it very soon, because suppose there are some statements instead of these dots, and up till now, suppose t equal to, if I take t equal to 1, okay, for that test case something has happened and I suddenly gave continue. Then what will happen, these statements after this continue is skipped and will just jump straight to the next iteration of the loop, which is jumps straight to, oops, I'm going to use comment, jumps to iteration of the loop, that is t equal to 2. Okay, so yeah, that is what continuous statement is. It just doesn't care what the hell is after this, just go straight to the next iteration. I don't, whatever I've done for this iteration is enough, just jump to the next iteration. And what break it does is this, I have done enough with this loop, now just get away. And there are another kind of statement which mostly nobody uses, but I personally love it, is go to statement. So what happens in go to statement is that you leave some kind of a label somewhere in the code. Suppose I'm gonna leave a label here, poop. Now to declare a label you need to put a colon over here, not a semicolon. And what I will do at some point in the program, I'm gonna just say, you know what, I want to go to this particular point in the program, and right from here the compiler will jump straight to where this label is, and it will start making the state, it will start executing the statements from this label again. So that is how go to statements works. I personally love it because in menu driven programs it is useful to use go to statements. I like it, but I don't know, some people prefer the while loop while using it. I use go to statements for menu driven program in C++, but yeah, while is certainly better because it affects the time complexity of the program. Now don't expect me to give the exact values of the time complexity. So yeah, I think that is it. I covered most of the topic of the loops, and flow of control also I have covered it right now. So yeah, if you have any more doubts, you can put them down in the comment section below. And recently my channel has reached 50 subscribers, so thank you very much for your overwhelming support, and I hope you will keep me supporting in the future also. And if you're new here, please consider liking the video, because if you like it, of course, I make these videos so that you can like it, or thumbs up or thumbs down, doesn't matter actually. I just need views on my video. And make sure you subscribe it, because yeah, it gives me a motivation to make these videos. It gives a very nice motivation to keep making these videos. And that's it for today. See you next time. Bye.